Welcome back to Here's the Deal. I really want you to stay with me throughout this video. I know the civil rights lawyer and Institutes for Justice did a video on this criminal interdiction unit from San Antonio, Texas. But I really want you to stay with me because I'm going to go a couple levels deeper. We're actually going to talk about this guy right here. His name is this smiling dude. This guy's name is Joel Babb. Joel Babb works for the Bexar County Sheriff's Department, and there's a couple things that we really need to talk about, but I just want to ask you a question real quick. What if there was a class of people living among us right here in America, not North Korea, not communist China, right here in America, that really believed with all their heart that you are a criminal, that you've committed a crime and you are truly a criminal, not innocent, but guilty. You're guilty until you prove your innocence. It's up to you to prove your innocence. What if there was a class of people like that? I mean, with this kind of belief, it basically is a benefit to the believer because he believes with all his heart that he is doing right by treating you as a criminal. He feels like he's keeping you safe and society safe by harassing you, by interrupting you, by throwing you into the back of a police car, by putting handcuffs on you, by taking you down and booking you where you can get a body cavity search and they throw you into a rape cage. They really believe that they're doing good for America by treating you like a criminal. And let me ask you this. If you were to describe the perfect enemy, how would you describe him? What details would you include in the description of a perfect enemy? Because the way I would describe it is the perfect enemy will act like your friend, like good old Joel right here, Joel Babb from the Bexar County Sheriff's Department. He was acting like he was this guy's friend, and nothing could be further from the truth. The perfect enemy would smile a lot. The perfect enemy would present himself to be a nice guy who's looking out for you. And while he's giving you a mild inconvenience in your life, he's really overall doing good for society. That's how the perfect enemy, in my mind, would act. The perfect enemy would be a deceiver. He would be a liar. What I want to do is I want to outline what the perfect enemy looks like and how he actually acts by going through this right now. Stay with me, even though you've seen this. The purpose for me making this video right here is so that you will be outraged. Outraged enough to actually do something about our current state of affairs, because this may be what Joel Babb from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is doing to this guy right here. But this is playing itself out hundreds, maybe even thousands of times in America, on American soil, every single day. We just happen to have body cam and dash cam footage of this right here. This is literal criminal activity foisted on unsuspecting, innocent Americans on American soil under the color of law and keeping society safe. And by the way, I will be interrupting and I will be making some comments, but I really think that this is an added value because we have got to deeply understand when we watch these videos what's really going on. What's really at stake, that our freedoms are really on the chopping block. And if it keeps on going, might as well load up the boxcars. Oh, Joel's gonna make America safe. He's gonna make San Antonio safe.
Hey, how you doing, brother? Hey, my name is Joel. I'm with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. The only reason I'm stopping you is when I was watching over there, you were drifting over that fog line pretty hard. I just want to make sure everything's okay.
You drifted over the fog line. Now here's the dash cam footage from the guy that he's economically terrorizing or really just harassing. And there's no indication at all. There's Deputy Babb right there just waiting for him. He's not out there to make sure that anybody's safe on the street. He's there to make sure not that he's serving and protecting, but that he's harassing and collecting. He's going to demoralize you. He's going to dehumanize you. He's going to walk up to you and act like he's your friend so that he can deceive you, so he can lie to you, so he can have one over on you, so that he can exert his power and his authority over you. But the dash cam, see, people lie. Officer Babb's lies multiple times every single day, just as his fellow officers do, not just in Bexar County, but all over the United States, all over the world. They lie. We've seen it. They are trained to lie. And their primary objective is that they go home safe every single night. To hell with liberty, to hell with your safety, to hell with society security. I want to go home safe, and I want to make sure that I do my job, because all I am at the end of the day is an order follower, but I want to be safe. So there he is right there. No drifting.
Because I got a lot of people traveling.
So this guy, this Joel guy, from the very beginning, he's lying to this man so that he can exercise power over this man against his will, without his consent. And what does that fit the criteria of? That fits the criteria of a literal that's a clinical psychopath, because they know that you can't do anything. They got you over the barrel. You are powerless. They have all the technology. They have all the equipment. They have unlimited resources. They have backup. They can put helicopters in the air and dogs on the ground, and they will go after you if you resist their authority.
Out here, long hours. So, everything good?
Absolutely. I stayed in the hotel last night.
Oh, okay, I got you. You got your driver's license on you? It's not going to be a ticket. It's going to be a warning. You got any firearms in the vehicle? I always ask, man, because it's Texas. Everybody and their mother has one.
I don't think I have one.
I got you, man.
I'm really sorry about that.
Oh, you're good, dude.
I'm really sorry about that. Listen, that is an admission of guilt. Dude, you have a dash cam. I'm not trying to unload on this guy right here, but we have got to hold the line. So, I'm sorry, officer. You didn't do anything personally to this guy, even if you drifted over the fog line. How many times have you been behind a cop who's swerving because he's on his phone, or he's making a call, or he's typing on his computer, or he's distracted, or maybe he's drunk? Nobody drives perfectly. Of course, you're gonna reach for the chips in the back or whatever, and you're telling the kids to be quiet, and you just kind of drift over a little bit. You're not being unsafe. You're not putting anybody in jeopardy. You haven't even violated a traffic law. You've done nothing wrong. There's no reason for them to pull you over, but they'll fabricate a reason. So don't admit anything. He said, "I'm sorry about that." Listen.
I'm really sorry about that.
We just have a lot of accidents, and man, the other day I ran into a dude, 20 hours, and he hadn't slept yet. So
he doesn't care.
Damn, dude. Hey, I'm gonna have you step out and sit in my passenger seat while I do your warning, okay? Thanks a lot, man. It's up to you. It's up. Yeah, because we're not going anywhere.
Watch this. Watch this right here.
Hey, do you mind if I give you a quick pat down just to make sure?
Watch.
All right, awesome. Just have
quick pat down. Wow, that was quick. You mind if I give you a quick pat down? Okay, fine. Go in. This guy could literally be strapped with who knows what. You know his ankles weren't checked. You know his belt line wasn't checked. You know the front of him wasn't checked. He could have had something, even with the shirt that he's wearing, he could have had something concealed under there. There's no way that this cop even cares, even about his own safety. And now this guy is going to be sitting next to him in the cruiser. What if the guy he just pulled over is wanted for something? Bab doesn't know. He doesn't care. He just wants to harass. He's foaming at the mouth to just ruin this guy's day. Bab is violating the golden rule. And a lot of people laughing, golden rule, oh, that's a scriptural thing. No, do to others what you would want done to you is not scriptural. It's bottom line human decency. Bab is doing to this man what Bab wouldn't want done to himself, what he wouldn't want done to his mother. Although, psychopaths probably don't care about their mother or their sister, or people in their lives that they love. But watch this pat down. Let's count it. How many seconds was it?
Because you're in. All right, awesome.
Boom, awesome. What was it? A second? Less than a second? Didn't even check him. Beware of the smiling tyrant.
How are you doing today? Oh, you don't?
All right, skipping to this next section right here.
How do you say your name? Alec? Where are you from? Houston? What were you doing down here?
Listen to all these questions. Guys, don't admit guilt and don't answer questions. You can answer the questions you choose to answer, but don't just willy-nilly answer all the questions. Hey, what does this have? How about this? Let me ask you a question. What does where I'm coming from have anything to do with this traffic stop? What does where I'm going have anything to do with the traffic stop, or that I stayed in a hotel last night have to do with this traffic stop, or what my business is, or how I conduct my business? Listen to all these rapid fire questions.
Oh, really? What do you do for work? What is that? Where was your customer at? I'm not from Texas, man. I'm from Maine.
Oh, well, I drove last night because it was.
What hotel did you stay at? I just stayed at one the other day. I was lucky. The one I stayed at was it was a new one. This thing I'm giving you, man, it looks like a ticket, but it's a warning, okay? I'm 42 years old, and I spent 18 years.
That's another thing, too. Before you get out of the truck, it's like, hey, dude, just if you say I'm drifting, I disagree, write me the ticket. Why do I have to get out? It's already a dangerous traffic stop. The people passing me are going 75 miles an hour. You just put both of our lives in jeopardy. And as long as we sit here on the side of the road, we are going 0. They're going 75. If somebody's distracted or they're texting or they're drunk or they're on their 20th hour, like you just said, at the wheel of a big rig, we're wiped out, man. You don't care about my safety. You don't even care about traffic safety. You don't care about that big rig who could be falling asleep, because it's better to fall asleep and drift over into the grass than to hit a stationary object of, 2,500, 3,000 pound vehicles. Unbelievable.
Years as an infantryman prior to being a cop, so I'm not the brightest.
Hey, that's hard work, man.
Yeah.
The only truth this guy ever probably said all day, I'm not the brightest. We agree, Bab. We agree.
When was the last time you came down this way? You like Houston? I know there's a lot of crime. Stayed at that Holiday Inn, and I was like, and I was in this thing.
He's as he's laughing with this man, as this officer right here, Bab, is laughing with this man, he's hating his ever-loving guts because he wants to catch him on something. He wants him to incriminate himself. He knows that there's a precept. Anything you say can and will be used against me. And believe me, Bab, who is your enemy, will use it against you. Be quiet.
And I thought I was going to get
Well,
my
there's some
vehicle
weird
robbed.
parts. I don't know which part you're in, but there's some parts I would not say.
I was right by the airport.
Oh, yeah.
So-
No, that's,
We just had an 18-wheeler the other day. 100 and something people in it stuffed in.
oh my
So your name is Scott, SCHOTT, and your address, date of birth? Has this been your truck from the beginning? What year is it? And it was funny because when San Antonio recently...
We're already up to like the 35th question, guys. It's rapid fire. Just boom, 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 boom. Demoralizing, dehumanizing. That's their programming right there. They're trained in psychological practices to get you to say things that might incriminate yourself. And by the way, you are guilty until proven innocent. If you look at them, you're guilty. If you don't look at them, you're guilty. If you don't talk enough, you're guilty. If you talk too much, you're guilty. If you act nervous, you're guilty. If you act too calm, you're guilty. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do will make you innocent in the mind of a psychopath. Nothing.
They got that snow.
Yeah.
They acted the way Maine did to the ice storm.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it was like 3 inches. It was horrible. What's your phone number, sir? I think sleepy drivers are more dangerous than drunk drivers. You live in a house or an apartment? And then what was it you were working on with your customer here? Were you selling him something? So did you just kind of go there and tell him about it? Did you go over there with anybody else? Have you ever been in trouble with anything? Anything with the law or anything like that? Yeah, I always tell people, man, they think all cops are out here for speeding. I was like, no, not all cops.
So he just admitted he's not even out there for speeding. He's not out there for traffic safety. Whether you've seen this or not, it gets worse and worse and worse. This is unearthing the mentality of not just Bab, not just Deputy Joel Bab, not just the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. This unearths the mentality of every law enforcer. They truly believe you're a criminal. And the true criminals, like in this case, the true criminal is the one who's sitting in the driver's seat.
What I do, what I am is I'm on what's called a criminal interdiction unit.
Criminal interdiction unit. And we look through a particular kind of lenses, Bab should say. We view everybody as a criminal. And nothing you say do I believe, even though the one who's lying is not the guy in the passenger side, not this guy right here. The guy who's doing nothing but lying through his teeth is this guy right here. And we're going to solidify that as we go through this video.
So I don't have to deal with all that crap. I don't give tickets, I give warnings. And the main reason is I sit on the side of the highway and I'm out here looking for, because it's bad out here, human smuggling, drug smuggling, and all those things like that.
So just to reiterate, this guy right here on the passenger side has let his guard down to one extent or another. Never let your guard down around cops. Never answer their questions. If you want, tell them, hey, if you want questions to be asked, you're going to have to consult my attorney. Number 4, never, ever Go anywhere where you're not recording the police. Don't expect that their body cams and their dash cams will maintain any semblance of integrity. They will always try to edit it out to make themselves look better. And by the way, just long story short on this right here, the police chief took a look at this video right here after they've received tons of phone calls, and I know they're going to get even more as the weeks and the months progress. They're going to get more and more phone calls, and the public, the outrage coming from the public is going to force that police chief, that sheriff, to make a decision about Bab and his henchmen.
If you're going 100 miles an hour, there's cops for that. It ain't me. The guy I'm looking for is the guy that's going to be going 76 into 75 and slows down to 65 when he sees me. Now we're dealing with somebody who just reacted. Yeah.
So basically, you can be doing the speed limit and you're guilty. You can be going over the speed limit and you're guilty. You could be under the speed limit and you're guilty. This reveals the mentality of Bab and all of his fellow Thin Blue Line gang members. They just believe you're guilty no matter what. Did you hear him? You're going 76 into 75, and as soon as you see my police cruiser, you slow down. That is the automatic reaction of everybody. Why? Because they don't want an encounter with police. Why? Because they're sane, rational people, and they don't want to be harassed by a power-tripping authoritarian.
We acted poorly, very guilty.
It's all behavior stuff, man, and that's what we do out here. Oh my God. Is your wife? Oh, okay. And is that your mom? Oh, okay. Do you have anything in your vehicle that you're not supposed to have? Do you have any
I'm just going to fast forward all this. He just keeps on asking about certain kind of on certain social media platforms. You can't talk about the D word. So we're just going to fast forward to that. But, add to all of his line of questioning about 15 or 20 more questions, maybe even more. It's ridiculous.
But just I have some reasons to believe that there might be something in your vehicle. And the reason I'm not trying to freak you out. So what I hate about police, as funny as that sounds, I hate when cops use what's called smoke and lasers. I hate when dudes dance around. So what I do is I talk to...
That's all he's been doing. He's been dancing around, acting like he's your friend, acting like he's really interested about your day, acting like he really cares about you. That's all he's been doing is dancing around. Listen to the load, the steaming pile of BS that comes out of this guy's mouth.
People, and I do behavioral analysis type stuff. And I've been wrong before, but there's just some things I'm seeing that makes me want to go a little further with the investigation.
In other words, hey, sir, who I'm harassing and shouldn't be. Hey, sir, who I believe is a criminal who's not. I believe you're lying, says the liar.
I'll be straight up with you. So because I'm out here looking for big shit, and this is how I break it down to people. If you have anything small, and these dogs will alert right down to a roach in the ashtray. So I don't go to bed at night and dream about putting people in jail. It ain't that serious for me.
I don't believe that for a second. I believe he goes to bed every night going, man, who can I cage this time? How many people can I add to my quota tomorrow? How can I make myself look good in the eyes of the sheriff so I can get those accolades and I can get that plaque on the wall and maybe even get a raise? How can I meet that quota? I don't care what I have to do it because I'm just that kind of person. I don't believe for a second that Babs goes to sleep at night and doesn't think about these things. Why? Because he's showing himself to be the authoritarian power tripper that he truly is.
I don't have anything to hide in my business.
And then say
and that's what most people are like. Hey, look, I got nothing to hide. I'm a good person. And I believe that this cop's a good person. I believe that this cop is actually here for the safety and welfare of all of society by, interdicting here. So, maybe I should give up my liberty on the off chance that, somebody 5 people down the road will actually be a real criminal. So I'm willing to do that because most people are nice like that. Here's why I'm doing this video. We are beyond the point where we should continue being nice. This is unacceptable. This is unjust. This is true injustice. And like I've said before, and I'll say it a billion times before I die, when injustice becomes law, like it's happening right here in the mind of Babs, resistance becomes duty. When injustice happens to one man anywhere, and it's happening to this man right now, it will happen to all men everywhere. It's just a matter of time before it happens to you.
And another big one I do that cops fail to do a lot is, so you said no. If I was to say, okay, I'm going to have a dog come out, and then you were to say yes, I would say, no, we're not going to do that.
Right.
We're not going to, because then it's coercion and all that. A lot of guys mess that up, man.
That's all he's been involved in. He's coercing this guy into incriminating himself when there's nothing to incriminate himself. And then you being not guilty, you being an innocent person, now you start feeling guilty. It's this whole big psychological operation that's happening that Babs is highly trained on executing.
I talk to a lot of people in this car daily. I'll arrest dudes. It's shit that I'm not looking for, but unfortunately when you're looking for stuff, behaviors don't change, whether it's a dime bag or whether it's a pound. I'll take guys in with like 6 felonies and they'll thank me. And I'm like, what are you thanking me for, dude? And you know what they'll tell me? And this is what makes me see there's a problem. They'll tell me, you know what, because I've never had a cop talk to me the way you talk to me.
I've never had a cop talk to me the way you talk to me, Officer Babs. It seems like you really care. Thank you. Thank you for putting the handcuffs on me. Thank you for throwing me in the back of your car. Thank you for kidnapping me. Thank you for taking me down to be booked. Thank you for the body cavity search. And thank you for throwing me into a rape cage. Do you believe one word that's coming out of this guy's mouth? What kind of psychopath do you actually have to be to believe that somebody that you just dumped a whole truckload of BS on is going to actually believe you?
I spent 18 years in the infantry, been to war 3 times. I've been through too much in my life to... Nothing, law enforcement is going to show me nothing that's going to excite me.
The mountain of BS, believe it or not, can only rise from here. You think you've heard something? You ain't heard nothing yet. Take it away, Babs.
I've never even smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
Look at his face. Look at this guy. The guy says, I never even smoked a cigarette. Watch Babs' face. Watch this. Here, let's watch it again. Listen.
So.
I've never even smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at his face. I don't believe you. I believe you're guilty. This man, who's literally engaged in a criminal activity against this man right here, is engaged in criminal activity right now on camera in broad daylight against this man right here. And this criminal, what are you going to call him? What are you going to call him? What do you call him? Doesn't even believe the guy who's innocent.
I was wild in the Army. It sucks, man, because I'll run into people out here. The last guy I ran into, I felt bad, man, because he got offered all this money to take a trip. And I get it, because I've never been offered $35,000 to go from point A to point B.
I don't even believe that. Maybe he has. I don't even know.
So I'm telling him, like, look, dude, I am not judging you. I don't think you're a bad person.
You are absolutely judging. And you believe this guy right here is a bad person. And you don't believe one word that comes out of this guy's mouth as you're lying through your teeth. You psycho.
People are hard up for money, and when you get offered something like that, it is what it is. But
maybe that's a little projection.
Training in the morning. I'm also on the what's called the negotiator.
Listen to this.
Crisis negotiations. It's funny. I spent
Now picture SWAT members. Picture trained SWAT members taking a look at this dash cam footage. Actually, this is body cam that he's got sitting on his dash, and you'll see him take it away in a second. But imagine the SWAT team listening to the steaming pile of BS that's about to come out of his mouth for his fellow Thin Blue Line members. Listen to this crap.
all those years being an infantryman. And I came out here and I was like, yeah, maybe I want to go SWAT. And as I started doing the job, I started realizing, like, hey, you know what? The Army made me, because I did recruiting too. I said, the Army made me a pretty good talking person. So
made me a good talking person. Instead of picking, the Army made me a pretty good communicator. The Army made me a pretty good talking person. I'm a talking person.
So I realized I have a talent of talking. So
Easing people.
I like when I see, and it's funny because I like seeing SWAT team get upset because they want to make entry.
Because you solved the problem.
Yep. I show up and I get the guy out of the house and they're like, God dang it, because they have all the gear on and the show's ready to go. They're taking selfies in their gear.
The show is ready to go. So he's outing his fellow SWAT team members. The show is ready. That's all this is for them, guys. It's a show. Look, Mom, we're about to break in the door of a person who's got burning plant matter inside of his house because our political parasites told us that's what we should do. Look, Mom, I'm an order follower. Look at it. Look at this. We're in our combat fatigues. We actually look like the standing army that our forefathers warned us against. Look how great I am. I mean, it is a show for them. It truly is.
Gear.
But look at him. Look at the look on his face. He's so self-satisfied. He's engaged in such. He's a self-congratulatory fool.
I said the Army made me a pretty good talking person.
Watch this. I'm a good talking
So I
person.
realized I have a talent of talking. So
Easing people.
I like when I see, and it's funny because I like seeing SWAT team get upset because they want to make entry.
Because you solved the problem.
Yep. I show up.
Look at his face. They're upset because I can't look. Yep. Yeah, I've solved the problem. I'm better than all those SWAT team members, and I'm not even trained to do this. I'm just good. I just got a gift. I know how to talk to people. I know how to talk people down from the ledge. I know how to talk them down from their house, and the SWAT team looks at me and goes, damn, you are good, boy. This guy is so freaking full of himself.
Sometimes the canine, it just depends who I get. This guy's usually pretty chill. Some of them like to talk to y'all before they do the run.
Now here's where 18 USC, see, he's engaged in 18 USC 242. That's deprivation of rights under color of, well, I guess it's traffic law, but this is actually deprivation of rights from Babb's perspective, from Joel Babb's perspective, this deputy. This is deprivation of rights of this man right here's rights under color of lies, under color of deception. It's not even law. The guy didn't even commit the mild traffic infraction of veering into the fog line as seen by the dash cam video. But now they're going to engage because now they're going to get a second guy involved in this. They're going to get the canine unit. Now we're engaged in 18 USC 241. That's conspiracy against rights. Here we go.
And some don't, so I think he will. He'll probably ask you a couple questions. Probably the same type of stuff I ask you before he runs. So is it like sales, what you're doing, or when you come in, is it already sold?
It's half sales, half.
Still engaged in small talk. So he's going to grab his body cam off the dash. And now they're going to run the dog. But as Institutes for Justice pointed out in this, you can see the false hit. It looks like a false hit. I don't know anything about dogs or training them or anything like this. But look at this. Watch this. So they show... Let me just stop this for a second. So they show... And I don't know if this is real or not, but I would not doubt it. I've seen enough Barry Cooper to realize, hey, they do false alert on these dogs. The civil rights lawyers logo's right here, but here's the dog's ears right here. And in the reflection of the truck, you can see this guy looks like he's looking at the dog to me. And then let me get me out of the way. And then you got this hand signal going on. Watch his hand movement. Watch this. See that hand movement? Tap, tap. And then the dog, like 2 seconds later, 1.5 seconds later, the dog hits. And then he says that he hit on the vehicle. And then he informs his passenger, who he's not serving and protecting, but harassing and collecting from. He informs him, hey, in our conspiracy against rights, my buddy actually, who trained the dog to false hit on your vehicle, has indicated that you have some contraband that our political parasites told us that you shouldn't have. And they also told us to go ahead and punish you guys in case you had something in your vehicle that we don't allow you to because we're your governmental overlords and parents.
Okay, so he got a positive alert on your driver's side door.
Cool.
Is there anything small that you know of? I'm gonna have you sit in the back seat while I search. I'm not gonna put handcuffs on you or nothing, right? But you are detained because of the positive alert. If we don't find nothing in there, then you'll be good to go, man. Okay? You have any questions?
I'm not going to put handcuffs on you because I never have perceived you as a threat. You could have been. This guy could be the most unassuming El Chapo gang member from Mexico in deep cover, and this guy could have been summarily taken care of. The way this Babs is acting, he knows that this guy's not a threat. He knows that this guy is innocent, but he's going to continue on in his psychopathic actions.
All right, yeah, it's 5 in numbers.
Unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. This is America.
I don't know anything about like how the dogs work, but
Yeah, he wanted to get in there. He sat hard. I tried walking away. He started.
Even, you know what really irks me? Look at this guy's face. This is the canine handler. What irks me is that guys like this right here even manipulate man's best friend into making man's best friend man's worst enemy by manipulating them.
but like I said, I try not to be a jerk about things because 9 times out of 10.
It's like the carjacker or the thief or the rapist going, I know I took advantage of you in a way that you didn't want to be taken advantage of, but I try not to be a jerk about it. I tried not to be a jerk when I broke into your house at 3 o'clock this morning. I tried not to be a jerk when I was stealing your catalytic converter. It's like, I don't care if you're a jerk. I don't care if you're smiling. I don't care if you're a nice guy. A smiling, nice guy, non-jerk still stole my catalytic converter. A nice guy jerk still violated my consent. A nice guy non-jerk still broke into my house. They truly want to walk away from this interaction after having taken advantage of you, manipulating you, threatening you, coercing you, throwing the implied threat of force against you, and they really want to walk away with the thought in your mind that, oh, this guy's a good guy. He's just doing his job. He's not bad. It's nothing personal. Guess what? It's personal. It is personal. You, a man, chose the profession that allows you or gives you the thought in your mind that it's okay to violate my rights, to steamroll over my natural, God-given, unalienable rights, you jerk.
With IJ's help, Alec is filing a lawsuit to hold the officer accountable for violating his rights. Because if we, the people, have to follow the law, our government must follow the Constitution.
I like institutes of justice, but I completely disagree with this mentality right here. And I'll tell you why in a second. Listen, here's what I disagree with.
If we, the people, have to follow the law, our government must follow the Constitution.
If we, the people, have to follow the law, what if all laws, what if most of the laws are unjust and immoral? Should we be forced to follow them? If we have to follow, it's like saying, if we have to follow injustice, if we have to follow immorality, then the least that the law enforcers could do is follow the Constitution. No, we can't have that mentality. How about get rid of all the unjust, immoral laws in the land? Every single one of them. How about if we have to follow? No, how about I'm not going to follow them? This is the Bexar County Sheriff's Department. This is the Bexar County, that Bexar looks like Bexar, but it's Bexar County. Employs this guy right here. And probably hundreds of other guys just like this who will do the same thing. This isn't a Joel Babb problem. This isn't a John Smith problem. This is a systemic problem that's filled with people that have gravitated toward this profession that gives them the justification to do what they do to the rest of us. Here's just a couple pictures of Babb. It looks like he's like military police right here. Here's him in his military getup. Here's him in his, I don't know what branch of the military is that. Is that Marines? Is that Army? I don't know what that is. But here he is. He's been torn down mentally and built up by the armed forces, by the military-industrial complex, to be the kind of person that they want him to be. And that's what he continues to be. That's who Joel Babb is. That's who the sheriff of Bexar County hired. And if you go to Bexar County's Facebook page and you look at one good thing about Bexar County as opposed to some other ones out there is that they're not out there taking away comments. They're not out there limiting comments. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. Under this little post right here that has nothing to do with this traffic stop, somebody wrote this right here and I just amen it. I'm just going to go ahead and read it because I think what this person says, this Craig guy, he says, how many psychos do you have working as deputies other than Officer Babb? From the video, it sounds like your department has been doing it so wrong for so long that even your internal affairs is full of dishonest liars. A man contacts you with a legitimate concern over an officer clearly violating his Fourth Amendment right, and you gaslighting about seeing the video that justified the stop. Only said video does not exist. And the video we can all see, the dash cam, shows that this stop was based on nothing, and it truly was. It was a lie from start to finish. It was deceptive and immoral from the beginning to the end. How many others have you wronged in similar fashion? And that's what I always think about. Anytime I see an Officer Babb doing what he just did to this guy right here, I always think, how many people have suffered under the thumb of a badge-wearing, costume-wearing authoritarian? This guy says, this can't be the only one. When law enforcement hires an outside agency to train officers on how to get away with violating people's Fourth Amendment rights, you know that law enforcement agency is dirty and repulsive to anyone who values the Constitution. Breaking the law to try and uphold it is stupid and short-sighted. Officer Babb can't see the forest through the trees. For all his nice talk, he just exposed himself to being a dishonest jerk. Fire the sheriff. This bad action starts with him. Your citizens deserve much better. I would just say Americans deserve much better than Officer Babb and Sheriff Javier Salazar. I just want to hone in on one more thing Deputy Babb says here.
Because 9 times out of 10, this is what happens.
9 times out of 10, this is what happens. What is the this that happens 9 times out of 10? 9 times out of 10, I have sitting in my patrol car an innocent person. That's like saying 90% of the roofs that I install fail. That's like saying 10% of the buildings that I build remain standing and 90% of them collapse. That's like a barber saying 90% of the clients that I have hate the way that I cut their hair. Is he going to be a barber for much longer? What if 90% of pre-lit store-bought Christmas trees spontaneously ignited and started house fires? Would you be buying that Christmas tree? What if 90% of all airbags unexpectedly just launched shrapnel at the driver without making any kind of impact? Would car manufacturers continue using those airbags? What if 90% of all brakes failed? What if 90% of all commercial airline flights crashed? Would the airline industry still be in business? No, this would be unacceptable. So why do we accept road piracy and drug interdiction units? Wouldn't it be better that 9 criminals go free than that 1 innocent man is jailed? Those who give up essential liberty for politically promised security, which by the way never comes, deserve neither liberty nor security. If you enjoyed this video, maybe you'll like some of my others. Check out the most popular videos and the playlist. I'm sure there's videos on my channel that you haven't seen yet, and every single one of them, unfortunately, is still in play. Leave a comment because it helps me overcome the censorship algorithms. If you want to support the channel, the links are in the description. You can also become a channel member and grab a hard-hitting, conversation-starting design that you can put on a shirt, hoodie, mug, cell phone case, whatever you want. Remember, freedom is dangerous. The only thing more dangerous is not having it. I'll see you in the next video.